Alright, so I wanted to try to get my update video for the day done here before I took off for the day. I got some other things I got to do, so even though there's a trade setup coming in right now, I cannot take it, so I'm just gonna have to watch it burn. Um, but yeah, so today I finished with positive $891, as you can see. So I'm positive 700 on my challenge account. Um, it was a much better day. I did start the day off with a really stupid trade. Um, I don't even know what I was thinking. I just kind of lost my mind again, so I had to straighten myself out and got back to it. But I took a trade based on this as a ABC, but it didn't break. It poked out with volume, and I decided at the moment that that was good enough, and I was going to go ahead and take it. I think part of my thinking was is that this move came all the way up here, so it was due for a reversal. Um, it's one of those moments to where I know what's going on in my brain is actually more of a gambling mentality of like, hey, this is a great deal. I should take it now so that when it explodes, I make all the money I can. So then as it exploded up and went the wrong way, I went ahead and exited the trade. So I lost $250 on that one. And then let's see here. So yeah, so I exited right here. So if you look where I exited right at the top. So I saved myself about $50 by exiting there. But you can see what happened afterwards. And that FOMO, that oh my gosh, I can't believe you ran away from another trade, all those things were coming into my mind. I almost took it again when it broke right here. I didn't. Thankfully, I was able to get myself sorted out, and then yeah. So then I just said, you know what, I'm just gonna let it go. I'm just gonna follow my plan, and that's what I did the rest of the day. So we had this one break up here. So then this was like a B, C with volume. When it pulled back, it finally gave me an ABC up. So I went ahead and took it right here. Now the ABC up was a little bit weird. It was more like a range break up, and then I waited for a moment to see if there was going to be any kind of pullback in here. And then when you look right here, this is something I've talked about before. I don't know, I spent about a year with all my charts being the same color, so that I could see these parts a lot easier. And this right here, even though it's all buy candles, if you look at the way it's shaped, that's a pullback right there. It just happened to be that the buyers just sucked everything up at the last second and kept turning it buy candle. But that is what I considered a pullback. So when it did break right there, so it broke right here, this right here with volume, and then this candle is when I finally decided to go ahead and get in. You can see I was already above it. So I went ahead and got in, and then I set up a 100-point stop loss because we were close to the open. So I only got in with 3 contracts, so that gave me a $600 stop loss. And you can see I caught the opening move, which is really nice. I waited until after the 9:35 candle was done, and then I started adding, because I had a 100-point stop loss on there. I added every 20 points. So I got myself up to, I think it was up to 10 contracts. Got all the way up to, I was up to here, I was about $2,000. And if you look at how the market looks right here, this big explosive move up right here, I let it pull back one candle, and then I said, okay, you need to either go or I'm running away. Um, Now, my plan is not to run away. My plan is to either, in these situations, switch to the 15-second, which my exit would have been right here or right here. So that would have been my exit right here. So I ended up exiting about the same place. If I would have stuck with the double top idea, my exit would have been this blue line. And also, if I would have just held on, which was what I was considering doing, is just holding on until it broke higher and just say, hey, hits my stop loss or I make a lot of money kind of an idea. So my stop loss was all the way down here. So you can see I survived it. It did go higher. It's only like 17 points higher, so it wouldn't have made a huge difference. That'd be somewhere around yeah, it'd be somewhere around $400 more. So I would have been up to around 2,500 up here. So that would have been a lot better, but as you can see, it's pulling back here. I don't know if it's going to reverse. It looks like it's a sell reversal coming in. I've got the things I need to try to sell it. So who knows if it's going to or not, or if it's going to keep going. So um, the big takeaway from that though is that the other markets were let me pull those over so I can show you what those look like. Um, so you can see this is where I exited on this candle right here. So if you look at like the S&P 500, the S&P 500 had already done a long V against it, which is scary because the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq move very, very similar. They're in sync a lot of times. And then you can also see the Dow at that point was also very seriously down. You can see it like from the opening, it had formed a really, really strong ABC down. The Russ was also down. So two out of the four were down, and the other one had a long V against it. So there was lots of signs that it was going to reverse. I had a lot of money on the table, so I went ahead and closed the trade based on those reasons. So not my exact plan to do it, but when we talk about risk reward, I know like the industry, all the people in our industry always talk about, you get in with $50 and you get out at $100, and that's a 1 to 2 ratio. That's your risk reward. I look at risk reward a little bit differently. I say, well, look, the most money I can make today is $4,500. I can't go above that because that's my max on my trading account. Um, and also, just set that aside for a moment. A $4,000 trade is a huge trade for me, right? My biggest ever was 4,500 that I was able to like put in my pocket. So when I look at this situation, I was up about a little over $2,000, and then my stop loss is down here. I'm risking at that point $2,000 in hopes that maybe I can have a $4,000 trade, a 4,500. So that's like, am I going to risk that much money to try to make that much money? That's the idea. And the answer was no in that situation. With all of the things that I had that were pointing towards this thing's about to drop, plus, this is a very long extended move, and we all know that those long extended moves can lead to 50% pullbacks or even just a flat out slow death kind of pullback. Um, so to me, it made a lot of sense to go ahead and exit the trade, so I did. Even though I cut it short, and even though it eventually rebounded and started to head back up, I think I made the right decision. Even if this goes up and it would have ended up being a $4,000 trade, this right here shows you like the amount of suffering that you have to do from like 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. That's an hour of just losing $2,000 that you have to suck up. And I'm quite frankly, I'm glad I exited the trade, even if I would make more money by not. So that's kind of my assessment today. Kind of where I'm at. There's not much more to it than that. There was no other trade setups that came in, and I stayed disciplined and didn't take any bad trades that I shouldn't take. And yeah, all in all, I'm happy with my day. Um, can't complain too much when you finish the day at $900 positive. So um, that's about it for me today, though. I hope you guys are doing good. I hope you guys made some money, and let's just keep getting better together, guys. Let's do this thing.